Have you ever wondered why the more you scroll through TikTok or binge Netflix, the emptier you feel inside? You're definitely not the only one. So many of us wake up exhausted, reach for our phones before our feet even hit the floor, and end the day thinking, why do I feel like I'm failing at everything? I remember going through that exact same cycle. I'd tell myself, just one more video, maybe then I'll feel better. But instead of feeling relaxed, I ended up more disconnected and drained. It wasn't because I was lazy, it was because my mind was stuck in a loop of constant noise that left no room to breathe. I'm not here to promise instant miracles, but if you're ready, I'd love for you to stay with me. In this video, I'll share simple, real steps you can start today to feel clearer, more focused, and finally at peace with yourself. And if any part of this feels true for you, take a second to comment below or share this video with someone who might need it too. We're in this together. 1. The impact of hyperstimulation. I want you to picture this. It's Sunday morning. You wake up already tired, even though you slept 8 hours. You pick up your phone, telling yourself you'll just check a few notifications. But suddenly, an hour is gone. You feel drained, your head buzzing, and deep down you wonder, why do I always feel like this? If that sounds familiar, you're definitely not alone. So many people online share the same feeling. I'm so tired, but I can't stop scrolling. Nothing excites me anymore. That emptiness is not weakness. It's a symptom of living in constant stimulation. Our minds were never built for this. For thousands of years, humans worked hard but had natural pauses. Moments to rest, to think, to simply exist. But now, every second is filled with something. Bright screens, endless feeds, short videos, notifications. We are never allowed to be bored. Take a moment to think about it. When was the last time you sat in silence for more than a minute? It probably feels impossible, but that's not your fault. A study from the University of Pennsylvania showed that when you constantly flood your brain with tiny bursts of dopamine, it rewires how you experience pleasure and focus. Slowly, real life starts to feel dull. This is why starting a project feels like too much, why a walk feels boring, why even talking to people seems exhausting. It's not that you're lazy, it's that your mind is hooked on cheap stimulation. Easy pleasure kills real motivation. Let's pause for a second. Close your eyes if you can. Feel that slight panic that comes with silence. That discomfort is your brain begging for space to breathe again. I used to think more productivity apps or self-help books would fix me, but nothing changed until I learned to step away from the noise. And you can too. You don't have to do everything perfectly, you just have to start. Let's do a quick recap. Your tiredness and lack of motivation are not a personal failure. They are the result of an overloaded mind that never gets to rest. So how do you begin to reclaim your energy? Here are 3 small, practical steps anyone can do, even if you feel exhausted. Step 1. 1 minute pause. Once a day, set a timer for just 1 minute. Put your phone face down, sit quietly, and take a slow breath, in and out. That's it. You don't have to meditate, just let your mind settle for 60 seconds. Over time, this teaches your brain that silence is safe. Step 2. The no phone morning. Tomorrow, when you wake up, resist the urge to grab your phone for the first 15 minutes. You can leave it in another room or turn on airplane mode before bed. Use that time to stretch, drink water, or simply look out the window. This tiny habit helps reset your reward system so real life feels more rewarding again. Step 3. the one-tab rule. When you sit down to work or read, keep only one tab open, just one. No extra videos, no social media in the background. You'll be shocked how much calmer and clearer your mind feels when it doesn't have to jump between 100 things. If you're thinking, that sounds too simple, remember, real change doesn't start with big gestures. It starts with the smallest possible action you can keep doing. Before we move on, let me ask you, when was the last time you gave yourself permission to just be? To do nothing for a few moments without feeling guilty? Stay with me, because in the next part we'll talk about what happens to a mind that never rests. You'll see why constantly running from silence doesn't just make you tired. It fragments your sense of self. This is where it all connects, and I promise it will make so much sense. Keep watching. If this video is helping you see things differently, please share it with someone you care about. It could be a small gift that makes their day a little lighter. 2. Consequences of an overloaded mind. Sometimes, the hardest part isn't knowing what you should do. It's finding enough space inside your own mind to even think straight. Have you ever felt like your thoughts are tangled in one giant knot? Like you can't hold onto a single idea because 100 tiny distractions keep buzzing in your head. You start something simple, and before you realize it, you're checking your phone again, opening another tab, looking for something, anything, to make the discomfort go away. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. So many people say the same thing. On Reddit, a young woman shared, "I'm so tired of feeling tired. My brain never shuts off, and it's exhausting." Her words could belong to any of us. This is exactly what happens when you never give yourself a real pause. Your mind loses the ability to reflect, to process, to feel what's really happening inside you. Instead, you end up reacting to everything. Notifications, emails, the never-ending background noise, while the deeper part of you stays buried under the clutter. Over time, you stop recognizing your own feelings. You don't know if you're sad, anxious, or just numb. You start living according to what is suggested, advertised, or imposed upon you, instead of what emerges from within. The Danish philosopher Søren Kierkegaard said, "The greatest form of despair is to choose to be something other than oneself." That sentence hits hard, because how can you ever choose to be yourself if you never have the space to find yourself, if you never slow down long enough to ask, what actually matters to me? A 2018 study from the University of Virginia revealed that most people would rather receive a mild electric shock than sit alone in silence for even 10 minutes. Think about that for a moment. We are so terrified of stillness that we choose pain over it. Researchers at the University of California have also shown that constantly switching between apps, screens, and tasks drains mental energy faster than doing any single focused activity. It's no surprise you feel like you're running on empty. Let's pause here for a micro recap. When you never stop consuming, your mind stops reflecting. You lose touch with your own emotions, your values, and your sense of purpose. This alienation fuels demotivation. But you don't have to stay stuck in that cycle forever. You don't have to overhaul your life overnight. You just have to start making small spaces to reconnect. Here are 3 simple steps, so easy you can do them even if you feel completely exhausted. Step 1. The 2-minute reset. Put your phone in another room. Sit comfortably and take 5 slow breaths. You don't need to clear your mind. Just notice what you feel without trying to change it. Step 2. 10 minutes of single tasking. Pick one basic thing: folding your clothes, wiping your desk, writing a short note, and do only that for 10 minutes. No music, no tabs, no messages, just one thing. Step 3. Name one feeling. At the end of the day, take 1 minute to ask yourself, what am I really feeling right now? Say it out loud or write it down. Even naming one feeling starts reconnecting you to yourself. These small steps aren't about perfection. They're about giving your mind a moment to breathe so you can remember who you are underneath all the noise. Let's do a quick recap before we move on. When your mind is overloaded, you start living on autopilot. You stop recognizing your own emotions and lose the connection to your most authentic goals. And when that connection is gone, any motivation you try to force feels artificial and empty. Stay with me, because in the next part, we'll explore why demotivation is often a symptom of disconnection, and how seeing this clearly can help you find the real spark you've been missing. 3. Demotivation as a symptom of disconnection. Have you ever said to yourself, I just feel stuck. I can't make myself do anything. Maybe you wake up in the morning and even getting out of bed feels impossible. You stare at your phone, hoping something will spark energy or motivation, but all you feel is emptiness. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. Thousands of people share this same struggle. On Twitter, someone wrote, "It feels like something is sucking me from the inside." Those words hit hard because they're so real. We live in a world obsessed with productivity and performance. Everywhere you look, there's pressure to do more, achieve more, become better. And when you can't keep up, people assume you're lazy or undisciplined. But what if that's the wrong story? What if this heavy feeling, this apathy, isn't a failure at all? What if it's actually a signal that something deeper is wrong? Let's pause here. If you take only one thing from this video, let it be this. Demotivation is not always weakness. Sometimes it's protest. It's your mind and body saying, I can't keep pretending this is okay. Think about this. A plant can't grow if it's in poor soil and under artificial light 24 hours a day. Sure, it might stay alive, but it will be weak and pale, cut off from its natural rhythm. That's exactly what happens to us when we spend all our time chasing goals that don't mean anything to us. Psychiatrist Viktor Frankl warned about this with painful clarity. He said that when a person can't find a deep meaning in life, they distract themselves with pleasures. But distraction isn't fulfillment, and when the emptiness returns, and it always does, we realize that the problem isn't that we're not moving. The problem is that we're moving in the wrong direction. Let's do a quick recap. If you feel stuck, numb, or exhausted, it's not because you're broken. It's because you've been trying to force yourself to act without purpose. You've been using the wrong fuel. And deep down, your soul knows when something is shallow. So, how do you start finding a direction that feels real again? Here are 3 small steps you can take, even if you feel like you have no energy left. Step 1. The honest inventory. Sit down somewhere quiet, take a piece of paper, and write a simple list of the things you spend the most time on each week. Then ask yourself, which of these activities truly matter to me? You don't have to change everything overnight. Just seeing this clearly is a powerful first step. Step 2. The tiny yes. Choose one small action that feels meaningful. Something that connects you to your values. Maybe it's texting a friend you miss. Maybe it's reading a page of a book you care about. Let it be so small that it feels almost too easy, but do it anyway. Step 3. The permission slip. Write yourself a note that says, "It's okay to rest. It's okay to not be perfect." Put it somewhere you'll see it every day. This gentle reminder can help soften the shame that keeps you stuck. Let's pause here for a micro recap. You're not failing because you can't keep hustling. You're tired because you've been forcing movement without meaning. And when that happens, demotivation is your body's way of telling you it's time to stop and look inward. If you're thinking, "But what if I can't find my purpose?" Stay with me. In the next part, we'll explore how even in the hardest moments, you can begin to rediscover meaning and reconnect with what matters most. This next section is where we'll put all the pieces together. Keep watching. You deserve to understand what really drives you and how to come back home to yourself. If this resonates with you, leave a comment sharing how you feel right now. Your words might help someone else feel less alone. 4. Viktor Frankl's will to meaning. When everything feels pointless, it can be easy to assume the problem is you, that you're somehow defective because you can't force yourself to care anymore. But Viktor Frankl, an Austrian psychiatrist and Holocaust survivor, taught something radical. He believed that what keeps us going isn't comfort or success, it's purpose, a reason why. Frankl survived the unimaginable, years in Nazi concentration camps, including Auschwitz and Dachau. He watched people lose everything: family, dignity, their very identity. People were reduced to numbers, living only to endure another day. Yet in that darkness, he noticed something surprising. Some people kept a tiny spark alive, not because they were stronger or luckier, but because they had something to live for. A person they loved, a hope they refused to abandon, an inner commitment that life, even stripped bare, still held meaning. He called this the will to meaning. He believed it was the deepest human drive, deeper than the search for pleasure, deeper than the hunger for power. In his words, a man is capable of enduring any how as long as he has a why. Pause for a moment and let that settle. Maybe you feel like you've tried everything: productivity hacks, new routines, self-help books, but nothing sticks. That doesn't mean you're broken. It may mean you've been working hard on goals that don't matter to you. Frankl argued that when we don't have a purpose, we slip into what he called existential emptiness, a hollow feeling we try to fill with distractions, social media, shopping, chasing achievements that don't satisfy. It's no wonder so many people feel tired and disconnected. Let's do a quick micro recap. If you feel unmotivated, it doesn't always mean you're lazy. Sometimes it means you're out of alignment with what actually matters to your soul. So how do you start to rediscover your why? Here are 3 small steps you can try today. Step 1. The one question reflection. Tonight before bed, ask yourself, what would make me feel proud if I did it tomorrow? Not what would impress others, just what would feel meaningful to you. Write your answer down. Step 2. The tiny commitment. Choose one small action related to your answer. If your why is family, maybe it's calling someone you love. If it's learning, maybe it's reading a single page of a book. Make it so easy you can't fail. Step 3. The gentle reminder. Find a sentence that connects you to purpose. For example, "My life matters," or "I am allowed to choose what's meaningful." Write it on a sticky note. and put it where you'll see it in the morning. Remember, purpose doesn't have to be something grand. It doesn't have to be a huge mission. Frankl wrote that your why can be as simple as caring for a child, finishing a project with love, or showing up fully in one small moment. What matters is that it's genuine, that it comes from within you. Let's pause and breathe together for a moment. If you're thinking, but I don't know what my purpose is, stay with me. You don't have to figure it all out today. Even asking the question is an act of courage. Frankl said that life never loses meaning, even in suffering. He believed that by choosing how we respond, by taking even a small step toward what matters, we reclaim our freedom. I know this may feel overwhelming, but you deserve to feel connected to something deeper than just surviving. Stay with me, because in the next part, we'll explore the power of silence and pause, and how giving yourself even a little space can help you hear your own voice again. This is where it all starts to come together. Keep watching. You are closer than you think to finding the why that makes everything feel different. 5. The power of silence and pause. I want you to imagine this. You're sitting alone in a quiet room. No phone, no music, no scrolling. Just you and your thoughts. If that idea makes you uneasy, you're not the only one. A 2014 study from the University of Virginia found that many people would rather give themselves a small electric shock than sit alone in silence for 15 minutes. We've been taught to fear stillness, to believe that if we're not busy, we're failing. But Viktor Frankl believed something very different. He said that before you can respond to life, you first have to listen. And listening isn't about consuming more information. It's about creating space. Space where your own thoughts, values, and truths can finally rise to the surface. Pause for a moment and really let that sink in, because in a world full of noise, silence is almost a radical act. Let's do a micro recap. If you feel lost or numb, it's not because you're broken. It might be because you haven't had a moment to hear yourself think in a very long time. When you step away from constant stimulation, you'll notice something strange at first. All the feelings you've been avoiding start to show up. Worry, sadness, regret, the urge to grab your phone and run. That discomfort isn't a sign you're doing it wrong. It's a sign you're waking up. On Reddit, I read someone write, "When I finally turned everything off, it was scary. But for the first time, I realized what I actually wanted. That's the power of silence." Frankl said, "Each of us has to find in his own life a unique meaning, a mission that is his. But you can't find that mission if you're always drowning in noise." Here are 3 gentle steps you can try to start making space for your own voice. Step 1. The 5-minute pause. Set a timer for 5 minutes. Turn off all devices. Sit somewhere comfortable. If your mind races, that's okay. Just breathe and notice what's happening. Every time you do this, you teach your nervous system that quiet is safe. Step 2. The daily no. Pick one small thing you'll say no to each day. One extra scroll, one task that doesn't matter, one obligation that drains you. Saying no creates space to say yes to yourself. Step 3. The question journal. At the end of the day, write down one question. What did I feel today when everything got quiet? You don't have to answer it right away. Just asking is a start. If this feels uncomfortable, that's okay. Discomfort means you're stepping out of autopilot. You're beginning to notice what's real. Let's pause here for a micro recap. Silence can feel strange and even scary at first, but it's the place where you reconnect with yourself. Without it, you're just reacting to life instead of truly living it. You've come this far, and that alone says something powerful about you. You're ready to hear your own voice again and to trust that it has something important to say. Let's take a moment to recap what we've covered. You learned that constant distraction isn't just a habit, it's a way we numb ourselves when life feels empty. You saw how demotivation isn't a flaw, but often a signal that you've been living disconnected from what truly matters to you, and you discovered that real purpose doesn't come from chasing more. It comes from listening within. I want you to remember this. You are not broken. You're not behind. You are simply human, waking up to the truth that you deserve more than a life lived on autopilot. Imagine what it could feel like to step out of the noise and finally move with intention, to choose actions that reflect your real values instead of just reacting to what the world demands. This is how transformation begins, not with big gestures, but with small, honest moments of clarity. If this message spoke to you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Leave a comment sharing what you're ready to let go of, or what noise you want to silence in your own life. And if you're ready to keep exploring this journey, be sure to watch the next video. It will help you take the first steps to reconnect with your purpose and start living with more calm, focus, and meaning. This is only the beginning.